sent to the Forbidden Forest.
The hut fell silent after the voice faded. Amara stood frozen, staring into the clay pot as the surface of the dark water slowly calmed. The faces beneath it did not disappear. They simply sank, watching her from below. Her stepmother placed a trembling hand on her shoulder. "That was not your mother," she said quickly. But Amara didn't respond, because something inside her recognized that voice. The blind woman spoke softly from behind them. "The well does not lie. It shows what was taken and what remains trapped." Amara's throat tightened. "Then she's still alive?" The old woman paused. "Alive is not the right word." The blind woman circled the pot slowly, chanting under her breath. The water began to ripple again, this time forming symbols Amara had seen in the forest. "These are names," the old woman explained. "Every soul taken by the well leaves its mark." Amara leaned closer. The symbols shifted, rearranging themselves. Then, suddenly, they formed letters she could understand. A name appeared clearly. Lena. Amara's breath caught. "That's my mother's name." The water trembled violently, and from deep within, something began to rise.
You! I remember you, my child.
A pale hand pushed through the surface of the water. Amara screamed and stumbled back. The hand clawed at the edge of the pot, followed by a face. Her mother's face, distorted and dripping with darkness. "Help me," it whispered. Amara's instincts screamed at her to run, but her heart pulled her forward. "Wait!" her stepmother shouted. "It's a trap!" The blind woman raised her staff. "You must not touch it unless you are ready to give something in return." Amara hesitated. "What do I have to give?" The creature smiled slowly. "Your name."
Amara, I never meant to hurt you. Mom?
The room grew colder. Amara felt her identity tightening around her chest, like something invisible was already trying to pull it away. "What happens if I give it my name?" she asked. The blind woman answered grimly. "You will forget who you are, and it will remember how to become you." Amara looked at the creature wearing her mother's face. Its eyes softened. "Amara, please, I'm still here." Tears filled her eyes. What if it was true? What if her mother was still trapped, waiting for her? Her hand trembled, reaching forward. Just before her fingers touched the creature, her stepmother slapped her hand away.
Run!
"Don't!" Amara turned sharply, anger flaring. "You don't understand! That's my mother!" The stepmother's voice broke. "And you are my daughter!" The words hung in the air. Amara froze. Her stepmother had never called her that before. Not once. The creature hissed angrily, its face twisting. "Lies! She never loved you!" Amara's heart cracked between two truths. The blind woman stepped forward and struck the pot with her staff. The creature screamed as it was pulled back into the water violently. The surface sealed shut. Silence returned. Amara collapsed to her knees, shaking. You almost gave it everything, the old woman said. Amara whispered, "But what if that was really her?" The blind woman closed her eyes. "Then saving her will cost far more than your name." Outside, the wind howled through the village. Shadows flickered unnaturally along the walls. The blind woman turned to Amara. "The first binding feeds on forgotten names. If we break it, the spirits trapped in the well will weaken the forest's hold." "How do we break it?" Amara asked. "By remembering every name it has stolen and calling them back." Amara looked at the pot. Hundreds, maybe thousands of souls. "How can I remember all of them?" The old woman smiled faintly. "You don't. The well will make you."
No,
That
please.
night,
Stop.
Amara
The
sat
pain.
before the
My
pot
head.
again.
Get out.
The
Make
room
it
was
stop.
dark,
No.
except for a small flame. The blind woman began chanting. The water rose slowly, then suddenly exploded into motion. Voices flooded Amara's mind. Names. Hundreds of names. She screamed, clutching her head, as memories that were not hers poured in. Faces, lives, deaths. She was drowning in them. And somewhere among them, her own voice whispered again. Amara's shadow on the wall began to stretch, growing taller, sharper. It separated slightly from her body. Her stepmother gasped, "It's taking her!" The blind woman shouted, "Say the names! Don't stop!" Amara forced her voice out through the pain. One name, then another. Each name echoed like thunder. The pot cracked further. The binding was weakening, but so was she. With one final scream, Amara shouted a name louder than the rest. "Lena!" The pot shattered. A burst of dark light exploded outward. The room fell silent. For a moment, everything stopped. Then Amara looked down. There was no shadow beneath her feet. And from behind her, a voice spoke softly. "Now, I am free." Amara broke the first binding,
here
but
now.
at a terrible cost. She just released her
You
own
can't
dark
escape.
shadow, and it is out for blood. What will her terrifying doppelganger do to the village? The true dark phase begins in episode 5, The Shadow Without a Body. If you're loving this horror series, hit that like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what would you do if your own shadow suddenly came alive and stood behind you?